I married my blind date in a whirlwind romance. Ethan came from a modest background, but was undeniably handsome. That day, the news reported the heir to the Johnson family returns, poised to shake up the business world. Remembering recent novels I'd read, I joked, what if this business heir is ruthless in the boardroom but a hopeless romantic? Ethan smirked, possible. After my mother's 108th marriage ultimatum, I finally surrendered to the dating scene. At the coffee shop, I replayed matchmaker Emma's voice message, he's gorgeous, would I lie? Solid 6-foot frame. Maybe 6'3" when jumping. Bit rough around the edges financially. But your mom insisted. I scanned the room like a searchlight, zeroing in on the man by the window. His chiseled features and towering presence even while seated confirmed it Emma had finally delivered. Approaching calmly, I said, hi. I'm Lucy. Emma referred me. His dark eyes flickered with surprise before softening into a smile. Here for the arranged date? Isn't that why you're here? Ethan. He offered instead of answering. The name rang faint bells. My buzzing phone displayed Mom's interrogation. Progress report? Panicking, I rapid-fired my resume. As the insistent buzzing continued, wedding March visions danced in my head. Impulsively, I blurted, City Hall's about to close. Want to get married first and date later? His startled expression shifted to action. 1 hour later, we stood outside the marriage bureau holding crimson certificates, staring at his unfairly perfect face. I swallowed my post-nuptial vertigo. Now that we're married, I can finally breathe. I'll be the best wife. Ethan's lips curved. I'll strive to be the best husband. That face could sell snow to Eskimos. Squaring my shoulders, I declared, don't worry, I own my condo. Have savings. Your income doesn't matter. We should live together properly. Move into my place tonight? His brow arched. My income? Emma briefed me. I said gently. No judgment here. We'll build together. Ethan chuckled without comment. Exchange contacts? I texted my address and door code. Come whenever. I need to clock in now, took morning off for this. Back at work. Emma's call exploded my phone. Time to thank my matchmaker. Lucy. The poor man waited all day. What's wrong with you? I choked. Wait, wasn't Ethan your setup? Ethan who? Get to Café Noir now. This Mr. Song won't wait forever. I stared at the marriage certificate. Blood freezing. Mr. Song? Then who the hell did I marry? This wasn't just ridiculous, it was sitcom-level absurdity. Ignoring work, I grabbed my bag and rushed home. The aroma of home-cooked food filled the air as I spotted a figure bustling in the kitchen. My hurried breath slowed when Ethan turned with a spatula in hand. His smile warm. You're back? Dinner's almost ready. The urgency that propelled me here suddenly resurfaced. There's been a mix-up. I blurted out. Approaching the marble counter. Our matchmaking partners, there was some confusion. He shrugged, unfazed as he flipped a pancake. My matchmaker's last name was Wilson too. Call it a happy accident. His eyes crinkled with amusement. Means we're fated, doesn't it? We're already married, you planning to divorce over paperwork? The logic seeped through my panic. Guess not. Becoming newly divorced over administrative errors seemed ridiculous. Wash up, Ethan said, setting 2 steaming plates on the dining table. The normalcy of sharing a meal calmed me. Living alone meant endless takeout and instant noodles. This domestic scene felt like rediscovering Sundays at my parents'. His cooking rivaled Mom's. We ate in comfortable silence until he broke it with sudden seriousness. About the dowry. I waved him off. We don't need. It's about respect. His firm tone surprised me. Maybe this whirlwind marriage wasn't completely reckless. Mom actually warned me against marrying rich. I admitted. Said I couldn't handle some tycoon. Wanted me to find someone normal. Ethan's brow furrowed. She really said that? Swear. I bit back a smile at how quickly he'd embraced the son-in-law role. If you were loaded, she'd never approve. His throat worked. I should confess something. My fork hovered mid-bite. I'm broke now, he said, intense gaze locking mine. But if circumstances change, would she hold it against me? I almost choked. Who complains about money? Mom's not trying to marry me into poverty. Relief softened his features. Good. The certainty in his voice suggested hidden depths. Speaking of Mom, I remembered. We're visiting them tomorrow. Her earlier phone rant still rang in my ears, first furious about the botched matchmaking, then speechless when I dropped the marriage bomb. She demanded proof, threatening to storm our apartment. Ethan's slow smile held secrets. Can't wait to meet the family. I managed to placate my mom by claiming Ethan was nervous, promising we'd discuss things tonight and bring him home tomorrow. After settling that, I asked Ethan, "What about your family?" He paused before answering. "They're in the countryside. I'll call them tomorrow and let you know when they can come." All right. Checking the time, I headed to the home office to work on a project proposal. The hours flew by until a knock interrupted me at 10:30 p.m. "You should rest before 11. Ethan's deep voice resonated from the doorway. Chronic sleep deprivation causes irreversible damage. Warmth flooded my chest at his concern. How could anyone resist tenderness from this Greek god incarnate? Okay. I saved my files, massaging my stiff wrists as we walked out. Tired? Typing marathon. I shrugged. We reached the bedroom threshold when reality struck. We'd be sharing a bed tonight. Ethan's breath brushed my ear. Something wrong? Nothing, I blurted, cheeks burning as I fled to the bathroom. The mirror reflected my tomato-red face. Married couples sleeping together made logical sense. But this whirlwind romance still felt surreal. After dawdling through my routine, I emerged to find Ethan propped against the headboard, sheets pulled around his sculpted torso. Holy abs, this man could bankrupt me if he were a paid escort. Lucy. His velvet tone snapped me back to reality. I scrambled under the covers, cocooning myself like a burrito. The guest rooms, unprepared. I stammered unnecessarily, mentally face-palming. We'd literally signed marriage papers hours ago. Darkness enveloped us when he turned off the lights. His body heat radiated against my back as whispers rustled through the silence. Today feels surreal. His cool baritone vibrated behind me. I can't believe you're really mine. Confusion pierced through my haze. Had we met before? Turning, I drowned in his galaxy-deep eyes. The enigmatic shadows I'd noticed all day cleared, revealing startling vulnerability. His face neared mine, those hypnotic eyes drawing me in until my lashes fluttered closed. Sleepless night. The next morning, I woke up in Ethan's arms. His handsome features softened with a smile as he kissed my lips. His voice husky from sleep. Morning. Morning. My heart still raced. Oh God. Impulsive. So impulsive. We really should have taken time to build our relationship first. During breakfast, the doorbell rang. Ethan stood. I'll get it. The delivery man handed over 2 packages. Still moving things in? I asked as he placed the boxes by the entrance. Keyboards. Ethan walked back, casually explaining. I'm used to these for easier typing. Keep one in the home office. Take the other to work. My chest warmed. Last night I'd casually complained about my stiff keyboard. And here were replacements by dawn, 2 of them. Sweet bubbles of happiness rose in me. At the office, I'd just installed the new keyboard when Grace bounded over. Her eyes lit up. Lucy, can I test drive that beauty? The notorious keyboard enthusiast owned over 100 mechanical boards, her paychecks vanishing into this obsession. I scooted aside. Knock yourself out. Grace settled into my chair, fingers dancing across the keys. This tactile feedback. The acoustics. Spill it, where'd you score this? Gift from someone. Let me. She'd already whipped out her phone. Searching Taobao. Nothing matches. Grace frowned. Custom job? Not sure. I'll ask, maybe my regular vendor can replicate it. Her thumbs flew across the screen. Chuckling. I returned to work until Grace's sudden gasp drew office-wide attention. She stared at her phone, swallowing hard. This costs $80,000? What? I scanned her chat log with a customer service rep frowny face. The keyboard design is copyrighted. Even if we tried replicating it. The housing, keycaps, switches, all premium materials. Frankly, brands inflate prices. Regular folks should stick with decent electrostatic boards. Bathroom bound. I speed dialed Ethan. Those keyboards, are they really 80 grand each? He answered instantly. 80,000? Both of yours combined cost under 300. Relief flooded me. My colleague wants one. The vendor claims it's impossible to copy. Says it's luxury tier. Must be knockoffs. Ethan reasoned. They looked cool and felt great. So I grabbed them. Totally. So smooth to type on. Returning. I told Grace. Counterfeits. Less than 150 each. Her eyes reignited. Seriously? Hook me up. They're gorgeous. Sure. At my desk. I texted Ethan, can you order another? His reply came instantly, done. By afternoon, a local courier delivered the keyboard. I handed the keyboard to Grace. She immediately transferred me $200. You overpaid. I pointed out. No way. This keyboard's weight and quality are better than the $1,000 ones I've bought. I'm getting a steal. Grace happily started unboxing the keyboard. I forwarded the $200 to Ethan. My coworker sent $200 and thinks she's getting a bargain. Ethan accepted the money, glad she likes it. You two can support each other at work now. My heart warmed, maybe marriage wasn't so bad after all. This constant feeling of being cherished, damn those thoughtful gestures. At lunch, Grace and I were debating where to eat when Ethan called. I packed you lunch. Be at your office in 5. Grace kept excitedly suggesting restaurants until I awkwardly interrupted. You might have to go alone. My husband's bringing me lunch. Grace's jaw dropped. She lunged at my throat, shrieking, when did you get married? Why wasn't I invited? Gasping for air. I choked out, yesterday. Our commotion drew the office's attention, again. Olivia snorted, Lucy's married? Why keep it secret? We should have inspected what deadbeat you settled for. My workplace nemesis Olivia, the GM's niece who claimed credit for group projects while contributing nothing, smirked. I'd been her favorite scapegoat for stolen accomplishments. Rolling my eyes. I snapped, not your business. Skip the fake wedding gift, we're not close. Just stop joining my project teams. Consider that your contribution. Olivia's face darkened. What's that supposed to mean? Exactly what it sounds like. Figure it out. Olivia glared before suddenly laughing. Lucy. This is your pathetic life now, useless husband. Future loser kids. Is he that embarrassing? Her cronies cackled openly. Tossing her hair, Olivia declared, no matter. Let's all send Lucy wedding gifts. Make her treat us to dinner and parade her husband. Grace finally snapped, take your circus elsewhere. Olivia turned venomous. Who do you think you're talking to? Grace slammed the desk. Is this your company? We'll take this to corporate, see if your uncle saves you then. Others rallied behind her. Backing down. Olivia shot me a final glare before storming off. Ethan called again, I'm outside. Grace. Come help me get the lunch. I said, extending my hand. She flipped off Olivia's retreating figure and linked arms with me downstairs, sending me $500 on Venmo, mandatory wedding gift. I thanked her. Ethan waited at the entrance, his long strides closing the distance as he handed me the lunchbox. Thanks. Don't you have work? He smiled. Nothing's more important than making my wife lunch. My grin widened until I noticed Grace staring dumbstruck at Ethan. Lucy! This is your husband? Let's go shove him in Olivia's face. She said he's some ugly troll, that bitch needs glasses. Ethan nodded at Grace. Ethan. Lucy's husband. Gesturing to the container. He added, made enough for two if you'd like some. Grace waved eagerly, no complaints here. Homemade beats takeout any day. Ethan nodded, enjoy your meal. Before heading toward the subway. His parting glance held resignation? Or was I imagining it? Until his figure disappeared. Grace Taylor grabbed my arm excitedly again and shook it. Lucy! Your husband is seriously gorgeous. Like way hotter than any Hollywood star. We've got to show Olivia Brown and those girls. That'll shut them up. I chuckled at her enthusiasm. There'll be plenty of chances later. Your man's so thoughtful. Grace linked arms with me as we walked inside. He even got me a coffee. Ugh. I totally forgot to tell him, from now on at work. I've got your back. Can't let that latte go to waste. Right? Leave it to Grace to catch Ethan's subtle message. The man really did think of everything. Back at our department. Most colleagues were already digging into delivered lunches. Grace ignored her food, announcing loudly to our group, y'all just missed seeing Lucy's husband. I'm telling you. This man could be on the cover of GQ. Total once-in-a-lifetime eye candy. I knew this performance was meant for Olivia's ears. The brunette snorted from her cubicle. Grace. Why you making such a fuss? Trying too hard to save someone's dignity. Aren't we? Last I checked. Your daddy doesn't own this company. I'll talk about whatever I damn please. Grace shot back. Olivia stormed out without another word. Her clique trailing behind. During our lunch break, Grace leaned closer. Seriously though, you considering jumping ship? Olivia's toxic. If you find greener pastures, take me with you? I nearly choked on my salad. At this point, we can just refuse to work with her during team assignments. Partners for life. Yeah. She sighed. Wish it were that simple. Management decides groupings. We'll make it work. Conflicting teams never deliver good projects, leadership knows that. After work, we walked out together. There stood Ethan by the plaza fountain, unwittingly becoming the subject of several phone cameras. Grace whirled around dramatically. Where are they? Olivia's crew needs to see this. Stay here. I pushed her laughing toward the subway entrance. Plenty of time for that later. See you tomorrow. Approaching Ethan, I noticed the mountain of gift boxes beside him. You bought all this? What's in there? He deftly kept them away from my reaching hands. Supplements. Premium tea blends, standard first, meet the parents' stuff. Don't worry. It's light. The way he effortlessly loaded 10 packages into the trunk made me question physics. At my parents' house, the dining table groaned under homemade dishes. My parents' eyes lit up exactly like Grace's had earlier. Not bad. Dad appraised Ethan while stroking his beard. Almost as handsome as I was in my prime. Mom elbowed him. Behave! Ethan's here for the first time. Mom. Dad. These are from Ethan. I nudged him toward the gift-laden sofa. Mom gasped, opening a velvet case. Royal jelly? This must have cost a fortune. You shouldn't have. Please. It's nothing special. Ethan cut in smoothly. The moment he said Mom, her face melted. She produced a red envelope. Tradition demands this for the new son-in-law. Ethan stood bowing formally. Thank you, Mom. Dad presented another envelope with a rare smile. Welcome to the family. Deepest gratitude. Dad. Another perfect bow. Examining the tea leaves. Dad hummed approval. These are exceptional quality. Just regular supermarket finds. Ethan downplayed. I'll get more whenever you want. Dinner conversation turned serious when Mom asked, when can we meet your family? Ethan set down his fork. They're flying in from Iowa tomorrow morning. I've already booked rooms at the Marriott if that's acceptable. Mom was already reaching for her phone. Perfect. I'll reserve the private dining room at Jade Garden. I stopped my mom. Mom. I'll handle the bill after dinner. Once we finished eating, Ethan got up to clear the table before my mom could protest. As he washed dishes in the kitchen, she whispered, that Ethan seems decent. His face tells me he's trustworthy. Though he's too handsome for his own good, might attract unwanted attention, but I don't think he's the cheating type. Dad joined in. How much did all those gifts cost? That tea looked expensive. Not much. I admitted. Besides, Dad, those teas you buy aren't worth their price tags either. Sellers are laughing all the way to the bank. He shot me a look. Hush. You know nothing about good tea. The next Saturday, the Johnson family descended upon the hotel in full force. I found myself surrounded by relatives while Ethan got pushed to the periphery. Wrinkled but warm hands grasped mine. My granddaughter-in-law. What a beauty! My grandson's so lucky. Lucy. I'm Grandma, I'm Dad. Aunt here. And I nodded through the introductions, seemed every Johnson relative had shown up. We upgraded to a larger banquet room where red envelopes started appearing in my hands. Grandma slid her jade bracelet onto my wrist. I can't accept this, it's too valuable. Nonsense. She beamed. It's tradition. Besides, it only cost $600. Mother-in-law chimed in. Really? It's nothing special. Keep it. Ethan nodded. Grandma's right. Thank you. I murmured, examining the bracelet. For $600. The jade looked surprisingly good. The celebration lasted until evening when in-laws presented more gifts, designer items for my parents. Seasonal produce from their gardens. Homegrown. Hope you don't mind. They said. Mom grinned ear to ear. Are you kidding? Organic like this is gold. Ethan and I returned to our condo past 11. Arms full of vegetables. Stepping off the elevator. We froze, the hallway walls now sported garish ads. Since when do we have billboards in our corridor? I stormed toward the elevator. I'm confronting management now. Lucy. Ethan caught my arm. It's late. I'll handle this tomorrow morning. Next day at the management office. The smarmy manager shrugged. Every complex does this now. The city doesn't care. I slammed my palm on his desk. Take them down. I don't care about other buildings, get these eyesores off my doorstep. The man's smirk didn't falter. We'll look into it. Today, Ethan stated coldly, crossing his arms. His 6-foot frame suddenly seemed to fill the room. Or we'll have our lawyer look into your contract violations. The ads disappeared by noon. The manager remained all smiles. Just then, a middle-aged man with receding hairline and beer belly walked over. Sneering. We've told you repeatedly the higher-ups don't care. Every other complex does this. Why can't we earn some side income? If those billboards bother you so much, maybe you should move to a luxury neighborhood. Before he could finish, Ethan's icy voice cut through the air. Is this how you treat homeowners? The property manager forced another smile. My apologies. He's got a temper. You, stop causing trouble. The balding man snorted and left. But the damage was done. We'll remove them ourselves if you won't. And we're filing formal complaints. I declared, pulling Ethan toward the exit. The manager called after us in mock courtesy. Just remember, Dear homeowners, you'll be liable for any wall damage during removal. Ethan froze mid-step, turning with eyes like winter frost. The manager's smile died on his lips. Without another word, Ethan guided me out. My anger simmered until evening when an unknown number called. The developer's representative asked to visit immediately. Had the property company complained? 3 sharply dressed visitors arrived bearing gifts, their gazes subtly tracking Ethan's movements. They bowed in unison. We deeply regret choosing an unvetted property management company. New professionals arrive tomorrow, all billboards will disappear permanently. Stunned, I managed. See that you keep these promises. After more apologies, they left. Since when do developers care this much? I mused. Shutting the door, Ethan approached with smoldering eyes. Problem solved. Now. His thumb brushed my lower lip. Shower first? Heat flooded my cheeks as I nodded. Suddenly airborne, I found myself carried to the bedroom. The new property team worked efficiently. Grace gaped during our lunch. Your developer's a saint. Ours installed 8 speed bumps to catch feed dodgers. Report them, I urged. Don't tolerate that. As we spoke, Ethan arrived with lunchbox in hand. Afternoon sunlight gilding his smile. Seeing Ethan rush over every day made me feel a bit guilty. Starting tomorrow, don't bring me food anymore. I'll just order takeout. Ethan frowned. Takeout isn't healthy. Not much choice since our company doesn't have a cafeteria. His gaze darkened as he glanced toward our office building. We sat on the edge of the flower beds eating our packed lunches when Olivia and her cronies appeared. I looked up to find them staring at Ethan with barely concealed admiration. Lucy, is this your husband? I stopped Ethan from standing to greet them. These snakes didn't deserve his courtesy. Yep. Remembering Grace's advice, I smirked. See for yourselves. My husband's neither ugly nor short. Actually ridiculously handsome. Right? Ethan gave me a curious look. Olivia's eyes flashed before she smiled sweetly, extending her hand. Hi. I'm Olivia, Lucy's co-worker. Ethan wordlessly transferred the beef from his lunchbox to mine. Eat more, honey. His deliberate snub had me biting back a grin as Olivia's group slunk away. Don't like them? He asked later. They giving you trouble? I shrugged. Typical office politics. Don't worry. I can handle myself. He silently added more beef to my container. The tender meat practically melted in my mouth. After walking Ethan to the subway, I returned to find Grace waiting. Afternoon meeting. At 1 p.m., the conference room buzzed with new project assignments. The manager announced group pairings with familiar malice. Lucy, you're with Olivia. I met Olivia's smug look head on before standing. I want to work with Grace. This isn't your personal playground. The manager slammed his files. Everyone out. Lucy stays. When we were alone, his tone softened. Look. Olivia's the GM's niece. Even I tread carefully. Play nice. Let her take credit sometimes. Once she realizes she needs you. I snorted. Wow. You really mastered the art of corporate gaslighting. In the break room later, Olivia cornered me by the coffee machine. That husband of yours is easy on the eyes. I stirred my coffee silently. Shame he's broke. Must be embarrassing. Eating sad lunches together. Her smirk widened. You know my uncle runs this place. Be nicer to me and maybe. I sighed dramatically. Honestly? I'd mentor you if you weren't so hopeless at basic tasks. Thank God for nepotism. Huh? You'd never get hired otherwise. Her face purpled as I walked out, leaving my half-finished coffee behind. Deep down, I knew Olivia's vindictive nature meant this wasn't over. Half an hour later, I was summoned to the general manager's office. The middle-aged executive looked well-preserved and charismatic. With scholarly refinement. He gestured, "Have a seat." I sat across from him. "What did you need to discuss?" "Sir?" He circled his desk, leaning against it. "I'm aware of the situation between you and my niece, Lucy. With your stellar performance and looks, you've got bright prospects ahead. Don't waste energy on petty squabbles." My gaze dropped to his lingering hand. The manager kept patting my shoulder. "I've had my eye on you for some time. Real talent deserves proper nurturing." His breath smelled of expensive scotch. "But opportunities require reciprocity. You're smart enough to understand what I'm offering." Bile rose in my throat. I stood abruptly, dislodging his grip. "I'm married." His laugh echoed off the mahogany panels. "So am I. Never thought I'd face this cliché of workplace exploitation. Disgusting old leck. Then perhaps focus on being faithful to your wife." I squared my shoulders. "I happen to love my husband deeply. But my niece mentioned he's not exactly prosperous." His smirk widened. "Money doesn't buy integrity." I slammed the door behind me, trembling. I'd rather resign than tolerate this. The afternoon crawled by in distracted misery. When Ethan came to drive me home, he immediately noticed my tension. "Everything okay?" I shook my head. This battle was mine to fight. That night, he simply held me, rhythmically stroking my back until sleep claimed us. "Rest now." Next morning at 10 o'clock in 3 minutes, Grace came sprinting. "Lucy, your husband just stormed into the GM's office." My stomach dropped. Everyone knew Ethan from his daily lunch deliveries. I bolted down the corridor, heels clacking. Grace panted behind me. "He called me yesterday, no idea how he got my number, asked if you were having work troubles." I mentioned the Olivia situation. My knuckles whitened on the elevator button. Bursting into the executive suite, I froze. 3 men occupied the space. Ethan lounged casually on the leather sofa, our corporate CEO standing attentively beside him, while the GM cowered like a scolded child. Ethan sprang up, alarm flashing across his features. "Sweetheart? What are you?" The CEO intercepted me with frantic bows. "Mrs. Johnson. Profound apologies. Had we known your connection to Mr. Johnson." He wheeled on the GM. "Apologize now before you're escorted out." The manager groveled, knees buckling. "Please forgive me. I'm blind. Foolish. My family depends on." "Save it." Ethan's voice cut like steel, arm encircling me. He guided us out. "Let's go home, Lucy." His kiss brushed my temple. "You should have told me." In the parking garage, I stared at his ordinary sedan with new eyes. Since when do CEOs tremble before architects? He grinned sheepishly. "Technically, I'm majority shareholder." The engine purred to life. "But I still pack your lunch." He was about to kneel down, completely shedding yesterday's hypocritical demeanor. I stared at Ethan in confusion. Ethan looked panicked and apologized. "Honey, I didn't mean to lie. Let's talk at home, okay? I'll kneel for you there." The president glanced between Ethan and the kneeling general manager, looking ready to cry. "Mrs. Johnson, should I kneel too? Why was everyone trying to kneel?" I pointed at the general manager and told the president, "Handle him." Also, he tried to sexually harass female employees. I dragged Ethan out immediately. Once the door closed, I demanded, "What's really going on?" Ethan gripped my shoulders gently. "Don't be angry. I lied because your mom didn't want you marrying into wealth. I feared she'd kick me out. I was going to tell you soon. You're the first person I've seen fake poverty instead of riches." I scoffed. "We're already married. Even if mom knew you're rich, she wouldn't make us divorce." He hugged me tightly. I was terrified of losing you after finally making you mine. His phrasing struck me as odd. Remembering our wedding night, I demanded. Full confession. Now, that Johnson Corporation you know? He hesitated. It's my family's. I'm the president. Johnson Corporation, the industry titan. So I'd accidentally married into the elite? A boiling kettle hissed. We turned to see Grace frozen in the doorway. So, she gulped. My keyboard really cost $12,000? Ethan wrapped his arm around me, smiling. Actually, I owe you. Could you keep helping watch over Lucy at work? Grace nodded dazedly. Sure. Poor girl looked shell-shocked. Back at my department, Olivia approached. Lucy, where's that proposal? Hurry up. I glared. I don't work with thieves. Olivia's face twisted. You bitch. Seeing her rage, I suddenly understood her pettiness. Leaning closer, I smirked. Run to the supervisor. Little tattletale. His office is that way. When the supervisor stormed out, the president suddenly appeared. Slapping the man, he barked. Apologized to Mrs. Johnson. The supervisor gaped. Sir, you're fired. The president snarled, clearly fearing repercussions. The supervisor's face was pale, making the bright red slap mark on his cheek stand out even more. Olivia froze. CEO. She talked back to the supervisor, shut your mouth too. The CEO pointed at Olivia's lips. All of you. Get out. He immediately turned to me with an apologetic smile while everyone else held their breath. After the CEO and I left the room, I returned to find Olivia and the supervisor scrambling to apologize and beg for mercy. Olivia especially looked pitiful, her makeup streaked by tears. Grace later told me that once we'd left, Olivia's uncle had called to tear into her. Both Olivia and the supervisor ended up gathering their things and left in disgrace. That evening, Ethan knelt on a brand new washboard at home. Honey, I'm really sorry. He pleaded. His handsome face melted my anger instantly. I couldn't help laughing. Ethan, get up. He shook his head stubbornly until I ordered sharply, up. He sprang to his feet. Explain this blind date situation. Did you really mistake me for someone else too? Ethan confessed he'd actually been meeting friends that day, when I'd mistaken him for my arranged date. He'd felt the luckiest man alive and impulsively agreed to marry me immediately. You knew me before? He opened his wallet to reveal our photo together, me in a white blouse holding a donation certificate. Smiling at the camera. Memories flooded back. Of course Ethan sounded familiar. He'd been my campus guide during freshman orientation before leaving for internships. Years later, when the Johnson family donated a building, I'd thanked him as student representative. This photo was taken that exact day. You liked me back then? My voice trembled. Real-life love at first sight? Yes. His intense gaze held mine. I wanted to find you after returning from abroad. Planned to stage a chance meeting, then you appeared like a goddess saying I do. My heart nearly exploded. Sweetheart. My own pulse raced. This fairy tale romance felt surreal. So you fixed the HOA issue? He nodded. Your family? They helped with the act. Never expected all those aunts and cousins to crash our dinner, nearly gave me a heart attack. He shuddered dramatically. I lifted my wrist. This bracelet, really $600? Ethan winced. $6 million. My arm dropped like deadweight. $6 million. These past few days I've been casually carrying around $6 million. But those fruits and vegetables are really homegrown at our suburban farm. Mom loves them. So she can have fresh produce daily now. Ethan held my hand, giving it a gentle squeeze. Honey, please don't be mad at me anymore. How could I stay angry? I'm not upset. But my parents. His handsome face fell. grabbing a wooden kneeling board. He declared, "I'll go apologize to them tomorrow," staring at his unfairly perfect features. I pushed down my lingering doubts about our whirlwind marriage and muttered, "Damn." Later, while watching local news, Ethan's face suddenly appeared on screen, a candid shot though clearly recognizable. The anchor announced, "The Johnson family heir returns, poised to reshape the business landscape." I teased, "What if this business prodigy has ruthless business tactics but turns into a complete simp for his partner?" Ethan smirked. "Accurate." Our laughter died as realization struck simultaneously. Mirrored panic in our eyes. Right on cue, Mom's call exploded through my phone. "You told me Ethan was broke. Since when is he East Coast royalty?" "Lucy, how dare you lie to me?" My pulse raced. Nobody survives Mom's wrath unscathed. Hanging up, I stammered, "We should go over, better get me a kneeling board too." Ethan sighed. "I'll take double duty." At my childhood home, my parents greeted us with freshly brewed tea and elaborate dishes. All smiles. Dad bragged, "See? I knew this was premium tea." Mom chimed in, "You should have told us sooner." Only Ethan remained tense, kneeling as he vowed, "I'll spend my life making Lucy happy." I swear. True to his word, he later transferred all assets to my name, whispering, "Everything belongs to my wife now." Damn. How's anyone supposed to resist that? Thank you all for the company. Your support fuels my passion for sharing these sweet romance stories. See you next time.